www.elginsolar.com.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 11 o'clock hour of Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410. We are broadcasting live here from downtown Elgin, serving the Fox River Valley. We hope that you are enjoying your morning so far. It is a beautiful sunny day outside. Absolutely. We hope that you're enjoying the day so far here today. And happy Thursday. We're getting closer to the weekend. We've got forecasts, a high of 63 degrees for today, up to 79 for tomorrow. That's going to be nice, but it is definitely going to be a little bit more on the windier side and possible thunderstorms for Friday night. Into Saturday, we do see a high of 65 with a low of 31, dropping down a little bit lower. Cloudy on Sunday with a high of 43 and a low of 29. Monday's a high of 55 and a low of 44, partly cloudy. And then on Tuesday, the 18th, we do see it going back up to 72 as our high, partly cloudy, dropping down to a low of 52 degrees. Into Wednesday, showers going into the morning and also into the evening. We see a high of 56 and a low of 32. And then next Thursday, the 20th, we see it as a high of only 41 and a low of 30. Sunshine and clouds mixed. So going to be very interesting. And look up tonight because it is going to be that lunar eclipse happening around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Morning time. So if you want to get up that early, you can do so. And don't forget to send pictures over here to 505-926-1410 if you want to do that. Now, of course, the spring season and summer, well, especially spring, is just around the corner, right? And it's getting into planting season. Of course, having plants, planting as well, too. We talked about yesterday, it was National Plant a Flower Day, so we talked a little bit about some of that, too. Maybe you want to check out some good stores to go to. We talked about Heinz Brothers Greenhouse in St. Charles. We talked about Platte Hill Nursery as well, too. But if you want to support local small, which we're all about here on WRMN AM 1410, you definitely want to check out this really cool place here in Elgin. This is Royal Plant Care, and we do have Kevin Valezques with us today here, joining us live on WRMN to talk a little bit about the Royal Plant Care here in Elgin on National Street and what you have to offer. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, actually.
Yes, absolutely. So, Kevin, I've become acquainted with through Cecilia Brooks as well, too. So we've definitely had some good conversations, and I've visited Royal Plant Care as well, too. Very cool place to go to. We definitely have to do maybe like a live broadcast there. I think that would be really, really cool. So, Kevin, tell us a little bit about what got you started with Royal Plant Care. What kind of piqued your interest in having plants and kind of even getting into a little bit on the education on certain plants and services, too?
So what got me into plants was that when I was little growing up, my grandma would always tell me like, hey, plants is money. And I was like, what? Why would she tell me that? Well, I was little, young, 7 years old. I didn't get it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Us kids, we're like, we want to play, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play hide and seek, tag, this and that. But then after a couple years, once I turned 14, I got my first plant, which was a money tree. Which a lot of people, which I'm pretty amazed, they struggle keeping a money tree alive.
Okay.
But for me, it was a learning experience. Basically, what I did with my first plant was that, hey, you know, wow, money tree, I'm going to make sure it grows really huge and big.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my first try was a fail. But you want to know why?
Why?
Because I didn't got the right education for it.
Okay.
I didn't get the right information. A lot of times you'll get this like the little tags in there. They'll say, oh, bright light, no full sun, you know, water once a week. But most of the times I'm like, okay, I followed that, but I still managed to kill my plant,
Mm-hmm.
right? So later on, after a couple years has passed on, I moved to Michigan. In Michigan, I started breeding birds, actually. So Royal Plant Care was not Royal Plant Care before. It was called Skylar's Aviary
Oh, okay.
because I started selling conures, finches, parakeets, and cockatiels.
Okay.
After a couple of years had passed as well, I started getting into fruit trees.
Okay.
Oh, I would let you know that fruit trees is my top favorite thing because you can actually cut them, propagate them, and make more of them.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, you're actually gonna get the fruits. Um, but one of the things that got me involved with plants was actually the fruit trees.
Okay.
In Michigan, I will sell bonsai versions, meaning that they will be like, I'll say like a 1 feet tall, and then it will have like one or two fruits,
Hmm.
and then that's what people want. They want
Okay.
to see the fruit on the bonsai tree.
Right.
Once they see it, they're like, "Oh, wow, how you do it?" And then we just teach them, get them the correct care. Because to be honest, if you're a person they're gonna buy a plant, is your first time, we want to have the greatest experience, right? You don't want to have like, "Oh man, now I need to get another one." Oh
Hmm.
no, something. I don't want to buy no more plants.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit here too, when it came to learning about plants, did you go to school for it or was it just kind of something that you did in your time?
So I went for horticulture for in College of DuPage.
Okay.
Actually, I only went there for, I'll say, a whole entire year. But then after that, I had to drop out because of my personal issues going on.
Hmm.
But overall, everything is okay. I'm gonna go back and finish because I do want to get my associate degree, and then after that, I want to get my bachelor. And after that,
Hmm.
whatever is the final step for agriculture, horticulture, permaculture. So I want to master in all of that for sure.
Absolutely. Very cool. Now, when it comes to, of course, running a plant store here, you got to take care of a lot of plants.
Tell me about
So
it.
you have to make sure that, they get the proper nutrients, they get the proper amount of water and the proper amount of sunlight. I mean, how do you keep up with all of that? I mean, I'm sure you're very, of course, because you run a plant store, you're very well oriented in knowing what plants need what particular amount of sunlight, how much water, how much fertilizer. So of course, I'm sure you have to place it within certain areas. The nice thing about your store too, and I'll share a picture on the screen here, is you have these nice wide windows. These wide windows, which are very important so that the plants and the flowers and plants in general really, and you do sell flowers there too, correct?
So that's something that we're actually going to start this year.
Okay.
Last year, actually, the idea was to build a garden to get our fresh cut flowers because we figured out, hey, why not grow it ourselves? We're trying to be local, we're trying to be organic, we're trying to help our people out here.
Hmm.
Because to be honest, Royal Plant Care is just not a retail store; it's all of us. It's
Right.
the whole entire community. And then with the new upgrades that I'm getting with Royal Plant Care, I'm trying to show people that, hey, look, by supporting a small local business, this is what we can get out of.
Hmm.
Now we have great plans for Royal Plant Care. We're going to offer anytime soon kids programs where
Nice.
kids are going to learn how to cultivate, how to be patient. And let's say for adults that want to learn how to garden, that's something we're going to have in the near future. For right now, we're just trying to, figure everything out, put it in place. But a business takes a long time to be built.
Hmm.
So for me, I want Royal Plant Care to be something special for people. I want it to be like a safe home for them. A
Right.
second home for people where they can come, distress. And you don't have to come and buy a plant. You can just come, show up, talk to me. Get to know the owner.
Hmm.
Which a lot of people had been meeting me, and then they stay for hours in my store.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to make sure people know out there that Royal Plant Care is not just a retail store, but it's also a safe place where you can call it your second home.
Right. Absolutely. Now, you and your husband have owned it for how long now?
So, well, we owned it for a year, but actually, without counting, if we counted Skyler's Every, that started in 2020.
Okay.
So it's been a pretty long process. A lot of things had changed.
Yeah.
As you know, like if something doesn't work, you gotta jump with the other thing. And then if that doesn't work, new ideas, new things, and yeah. And as far as I know right now, Royal Plant Care is doing great. I have a great community behind my back, which I'm really happy because I've been getting a lot of support from them. I don't even have to ask for help. They ask for me, oh, do you need help? And I'm like,
That's
oh
great.
my God. That's how I know we're in a good community right here.
Absolutely. Now, tell us a little bit here more too. Not only do you, of course, focus on plants, also on some Mexican culture as well too.
Yes. So actually, oh, this is the greatest thing. So Royal Plant Care is the first cultural nursery to open with Mexican like artisanal and Mexican plants. We are going to keep it as a cultural nursery because when people are arriving from different places, the United States is big, we have a lot of different people. We have Asians, we got Mexicans, we got Puerto Ricans. But when they come to the United States, they feel homesick sometimes. So me, by being a cultural nursery and me having a specific plan that reminds them of home, that for me makes me feel happy because I myself am Mexican Puerto Rican and I love my Mexican culture. I love my Puerto Rican culture, American culture. But there's times where I'm like, damn, right now I haven't gone to Puerto Rico for at least 5 years, 6 years. And I'm like, man, I'm missing the plants, the humidity, the weather.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But yeah, right now I have what's it called? A Puerto Rican tree called mamoncillo.
Okay.
Oh my God. When it first arrived, I was so happy. I started screaming because I'm like, oh my God, this reminds me of home. I'm going to cultivate it. I'm going to keep it growing. So I got it only 1 feet tall. And now by the end of this year, it got to, I'll say, 4 to 5 feet tall now.
Oh, nice.
So I'm
Very
doing a
cool.
good job keeping
Absolutely.
it alive.
Yeah, very cool.
Especially on the, Chicago weather. It's zone
Yeah.
5. That, oof.
Yeah.
Cold.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, is you definitely educate people as well. You educated me because I stopped in and I don't even know what the plant was called.
It was a little succulent.
Succulent plant. Okay. I still have it. Yep. I have it in my room. And when the nice thing too, that Kevin offered me too, I said, thank you for the plant. He said, if there's any, if it's going to die out soon for whatever reason, then of course, you can bring it back. I think you said what you said, right?
Yes. So the best thing about our store is not just that I'm going to sell you a plan and forget about it. No, we want you to have the greatest experience ever. We want you to come back. So let's say no matter if you didn't buy it from our store, you have a sick plant and you want to revive it, you're struggling to get it back in health, you can always come to our store, which we're located at 54 National Street, Suite A, Elgin, Illinois, 60123. Just bring it. We'll help you out. We'll educate you. Let's say if there's nothing we can do, we can offer you a 10% off on your plans. Or let's say if you bought it from us, you get a 2-week warranty, meaning that if your plan dies before the 2 weeks, we give you a free plan overall. But before we give you the new plan, you got to remember your mistakes when you were doing before.
Right, so that they don't happen again too. Because,
Of course.
Yep, and every plant is a little bit different. What would you say too, just based off of your own experience, what plant do you have or that you've even worked with that's like almost the most, what would you say is the most difficult plant to work with and the easiest one?
Oh,
I know it's kind of a long, because there's so many out there, but from your experience, or at least even with Royal Plant Care.
so to be honest, the number one plant we ever had difficult growing or picking its right place is a variegated Swedish ivy.
Okay.
That is the pickiest plant. So when I first got that plant, they told me, oh, bright light, no full sun, right? But I'm like, wait, but it's variegated. So it's going to need extra more light for it to, to grow more of the photosynthesis. So that plant has been the pickiest plant ever. I moved it somewhere where it gets a lot of bright light, but it turns out to be a full sun plant.
Okay. Okay.
The easiest plant that we ever grown, and we have a lot, probably people already know because they've been to our store, is the spider plant.
The spider plant.
The spider
Those
plant.
I used to have one in my room.
They're really beneficial, actually. I'm surprised that people are starting to hate that plant, but I'm like, oh no, this is a plant that actually gives you oxygen and purifies the air for you. And not just that, like it has so many benefits. Let's say you have a moldy bathroom. Just put a huge spider plant and it will start eating that mold out.
Oh, wow. That is so, so cool.
So there's many things that a lot of plants has so many benefits with people. Like let's say you have respiratory issues. One plant that I recommend is the Swedish ivy.
Okay.
That one actually has been recommended by doctors by many, many years. A lot of people don't know about it, but that plant has been used for actually medicinal purposes. Let's say at home you have bad air circulation, you have bad air quality. That will be a number one plant you should put in there.
All right. That is awesome. Well, thank you so, so much, Kevin, for joining us here live on WRMN. Greatly appreciated. I'll definitely be stopping into the store very soon again. And for those of you who might be interested, tell us how people can find out more information on social media and location too.
So in social media, you can find us on Facebook as Royal Plant Care or in Instagram as Royal 101. We do have TikTok, which is going to be Royal Plant Care 101 as well. And let's say if you're trying to find the address, we are at 54 National Street, Suite A, Elgin, Illinois, 60123.
Very, very cool. Awesome. Folks, definitely check this out. Definitely do say hi, of course, to Kevin. Kevin, thanks for joining us here.
No, thank you for having me.
Of course. You're very, very welcome. Folks, we're going to take a quick time out. We'll be back with more Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410 here in just a bit. So, of course, stay tuned and we will be back.
Get ready for Around the House every Saturday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on